The signal came at midnight galactic time. It didn't sound like anything known. It wasn't a distress call. It wasn't music. It was just a voice, calm, cold, speaking in a language no one had heard in thousands of years. Warning, observation begins now. No one understood the words at first, not until a historian from the Varnell Academy cried out, trembling. "That's human language," he said. "Ancient Earth standard." From the pre-Exodus era, silence followed. Every species across the galaxy paused. Humans were gone, wiped out centuries ago. Their systems were dark. Their colonies turned to ash. Everyone knew that, so who was speaking? And then the ship appeared. It was massive, larger than anything ever recorded. It came from the edge of the galaxy, just outside controlled space. It didn't jump through a gate. It didn't blink through hyperspace. It just ... appeared, a black silhouette, blocking out a star. Its surface was smooth, like a single sheet of metal. No windows, no lights, no markings, except for one name written across the hull in glowing white Titan. The galaxy went into panic. Military fleets scrambled. News networks played the signal over and over again. The voice kept repeating the same words. Warning. Observation begins now. At the Council of Nine, leaders from every major civilization met in secret. "It's a weapon," said Admiral Zarek of the Cern Dominion, a remnant from the old wars, a machine left behind by the humans. "It could be peaceful," offered Chairwoman Liska from the Drell Confederacy. "We don't know what it wants." "It sent a warning," barked General Kor. "That is not a sign of peace." They argued for hours, but one thing was clear. They couldn't ignore it. A warship, of that size, human or not, was a threat. "We need eyes on it," the Varnell Chancellor said. "Send a scout, get close, find out what it is." The Council agreed. The scout ship Raven's Wing launched 2 hours later, small, fast, piloted by Commander Alier Drenna Young, fearless Varnell officer. As he approached the object, his voice came over the comms. "I see it now. It's beautiful. No engines, no thrusters, but it's holding position, perfectly still." "What do your scans show?" asked Mission Control. "I can't scan it. It's blocking all signals. It's like the ship isn't even there. No heat, no radiation, just silence. Maybe a visual sweep will the signal cut static. Then nothing Ravens." Wing vanished from sensors. Mission Control called for him again and again. No reply, no beacon, no explosion. It was as if the scout had never existed. Panic spread fast. The Council reconvened immediately. "It consumed him," shouted one ambassador. "That ship is alive. It's a weapon." Another said, "It's testing us. Should we fire?" asked the Su-RN. The room fell silent. Chairwoman Liska finally spoke. "No, not yet. We don't understand what it is. If it wanted to destroy us, it already could have." Her voice was calm, but her hands trembled under the table. In orbit above Jalith Prime, crowds stared at the holograms of the Titan. Children cried. Traders shut down markets. Priests prayed to unknown gods and across the stars. Something strange happened. In every human museum, artifact storage, or historical archive, ancient devices lit up. Terminals powered on by themselves. Books turned their pages. Old satellites, long believed dead, began transmitting. All repeating the same signal. Warning. Observation begins now. Back at the Council, they studied the ship's image. It hadn't moved, not even a millimeter, but systems around it were going dark. Navigation beacons failed. Long-range comms dropped. Stars behind it dimmed like light. Itself bent away from the ship. "It's affecting reality," said the Varnell scientist. "Not through weapons, through presence." Presence. The CERN admiral frowned. "It doesn't attack. It just exists. And when it does, things disappear." They all stared at the screen again. The word Titan glowed brighter now. A small group of independent scientists sent a drone swarm toward the ship. Thousands of tiny bots, too small to notice. As soon as they reached the Titan, their video feeds stopped. No explosion. No defense systems activated. Just silence. Until one drone, the last one, transmitted something back. One image, a corridor, steel walls, flickering lights, and at the far end, a human figure standing alone. Eyes glowing blue. Then the feed died. Riots broke out on some planets, others closed their borders. A few began preparing for war, but none dared attack the ship. One strange thing happened. However, every species, every government, every private citizen began to search through human records. Old wars, old treaties, old crimes, because deep down, everyone feared the same thing. What if this ship didn't come to attack? What if it came to judge? On the third day, the Titan moved. It was slow, barely adrift, but it pointed directly toward the galactic core, toward the seat of power, toward the council itself. Another signal followed, same voice, same language, but now translated, "You are being watched. Your actions are recorded. Do not interfere. Truth is coming." In the council chambers, no one spoke. Finally, Liska whispered, This isn't a ship, it's a message." Admiral Zarek stood, angry. A message from who? The humans are dead. Liska looked at him with fear in her eyes. Maybe not all of them. On a quiet moon, far from the galactic routes, a small boy played near the ruins of an old human colony. His people had moved there only 50 years ago, thinking it abandoned. That night, he heard the signal. Felt it in his bones. He walked into the ruins, drawn by a strange hum at the center of the town square. A light shined from beneath the ground. He dug stone by stone, dust and dirt, and found something glowing beneath the door with a single word written on it. "Welcome home." The Council of Nine gathered again, this time behind locked doors. The room was cold, silent. The lights were low. No one smiled. Everyone looked tired. The Titan hadn't moved again. It just floated near the edge of the galactic core, silent and terrifying. But the signal kept playing on loop in hundreds of languages now. "You are being watched. Your actions are recorded. Do not interfere. Truth is coming." Admiral Zarek stood up first. "This is enough," he growled. "It's psychological warfare. That ship is playing with us, waiting for us to show fear." Chairwoman Liska shook her head. "We don't know that. No." Zarek pointed toward the display screen. A scout ship disappeared. A drone. Swarm went silent. Systems around it are failing, and now it's coming closer, slowly, like a predator. Ambassador Reth of the Takari leaned forward. "We should talk to it. We haven't tried to communicate." "We tried," said General Core. "It ignores every message, doesn't even blink." "We need a response," Zarek snapped. "Not more waiting. The people demand action. The military is ready." The room fell into tension. "Are you suggesting we attack it?" Liska asked. "Yes," Zarek said firmly. "Strike it, test its shields, measure its response. This is the only way." The vote was called. 5 said yes, 4 said no. The decision was made. The order was given in secret. Near the gas giant Raven, 5 elite warships uncloaked. These were not scout ships. These were dreadnoughts, the finest in the galaxy. Weapons. Ready? Crews silent. Each ship was fitted with experimental tech, high-frequency plasma lances, black hole warheads, and pulse disruptors designed to shut down planetary cores. Their target, the Titan. Captain Norell, commander of the Iron Fang, gave the final order. "All ships, fire on my mark." His voice shook just slightly. He had seen the footage. He had watched the Titan erase the scout ship like smoke. Still, he gave the command, 3, 2, 1. Fire from 5 ships. Energy poured into space. Beams of fire, missiles, gravity rippers. Each weapon built to kill stars. They struck. The Titan did on. For a moment, space lit up like a newborn sun. And then, nothing. No explosion, no recoil, no damage. The beams faded. The Titan remained untouched, UNMOVING. Still, Captain Norell stared at the screens. "Did we miss?" "No, sir," his tactical officer whispered. "Direct hits, all 5 ships. No damage readings. It didn't even raise shields." Then the lights flickered. One by one, the warships began to go dark. First the Iron Fang, then the Voidhawk, then Crimson Dagger, Last Flame, and Nemora's Blade. Their power cores shut down. Crew members vanished. From life scans, the bridge of the Iron Fang went silent. A whisper echoed through every ship. All at once, judgment begins with those who strike first. Then the screens went black. All 5 ships disappeared from galactic sensors. Vanished. No wreckage, no escape pods. Just gone. In the council chamber. Panic exploded. You attacked without full approval. Liska shouted. It was the right decision. Zarek yelled back. And now we know what it is. That thing can erase ships with a thought. 5 dreadnoughts, muttered Ambassador Reth. Just gone. Not destroyed, corrected the Varnal scientist. Removed like erased. From time? They stared at the screen again. The Titan had moved again. Slightly, slowly, closer. But now its hull glowed with a faint new pattern. Words, not in alien. Script, but in ancient English. You failed your test. Across the galaxy, news spread fast. Warships lost, no survivors, no answers. Protests turned into riots. Faith leaders declared the Titan a god. Others called it a demon. Cults began to form, worshipping it. Others demanded war. But something stranger happened. People began remembering things, memories they never had. Nightmares of Earth burning, children running through fire, ships leaving behind their own people. Many species woke screaming, saying the same thing. I saw it. I saw what we did. A message arrived from a quiet moon. The boy who had found the glowing door, the one beneath the old human colony, was missing. His parents were searching when the ground shook. The ruins lit up and, from deep below, a human voice spoke for the first time. Live across every frequency. This world remembers. No one knew who spoke, but all knew where the voice came from deep inside the moon, from an ancient human. Base long thought buried, and above that moon, the Titan appeared again. Without moving, it was simply ... There Liska sat alone in her office that night, staring out at the stars. A soft knock came at the door. It opened. The Varnal historian entered, pale and shaking. Chairwoman, I think I know what the Titan is. She stood slowly. Go on. He placed a small device on her table. A translation. Cube. It played a message. A very old one. A human recording. From before the fall, a voice spoke. Male, steady, filled with sorrow. If this ship is found, it means we are gone. It means we were erased, but not forgotten. The Titan is not a weapon. It is a record, a trial, a memory, the historian whispered. They built it to observe, not to kill. To show us what we became, Liska whispered. Then why are people disappearing? He looked up, eyes hollow. Because the truth is too heavy. Some cannot carry it. At dawn, the Titan spoke again. This time, clearly, a voice filled every ship, station, and planet. You have lied. You have silenced the past. You judged others, but your own hands are stained. A pause. We bring no war, only light. And, across the galaxy, lights began to rise from the ground, from old human colonies, from ancient battlefields. Beacons, they were everywhere, and they had been there the whole time, just waiting to wake. The signal reached Deep Watch Station at 4:17. It came from the edge of the Titan's presence zona, place now nicknamed the Dead Ring, because everything that entered either vanished or never came out. But this time, something came. Back. A small escape pod. It was spinning, badly damaged, covered in burn marks. The rescue crew pulled it in slowly, weapons ready, shields up. No one expected a survivor. Then the pod door opened, and a voice spoke weakly from inside. Don't shoot, please. It was a man, but not just any man. He was alien, pale blue skin, 3 eyes, CERN biology, but he was speaking ancient English perfectly. Dr. Nyla Haran was the first to examine him. Who are you? She asked carefully. Where did you come? From the alien looked at her with wide, frightened eyes. I was aboard the Iron Fang. We attacked the Titan. Everyone stared in shock. The Iron Fang was destroyed, Nyla said. Everyone was lost. No, the alien whispered. Not destroyed. Taken. He grabbed her hand tightly. They showed us, made us feel it, what we did to them, what we let happen. I saw children burn. I heard their screams. I begged for it to stop. Dr. Heron's voice trembled. Who showed you? The alien's eyes glowed faintly, now soft blue, like the Titan's hull. They're still there, he said, inside the ship, humans, or what's left of them. The council was in chaos again. He's lying, Zarek said. A trick. He's been programmed by the ship. No, said Liska, pointing to the scans. His brain patterns have changed. He's speaking an extinct language with fluency. His memories contain events we have no records of. Ambassador Reth leaned forward. He said, humans are inside. That they showed him things. What kind of things? Someone asked. Dr. Heron stepped into the chamber. She carried a small device recorder. I asked him what he saw. I recorded his answer. She pressed the button. At first, only static. Then the alien's voice filled the room. I saw the betrayal. We promised them peace, but we turned on them. We bombed their worlds. We poisoned their water. I saw my ancestors laughing as Earth burned. I saw them beg. Then another voice, cut in soft, female, human. You erased our truth. Now you will carry it. The recording stopped. Dead silence followed. Someone whispered, "How is this possible?" Liska answered, without looking up. Because they never left. On a mining station near the black sun of Varlis, a machine that hadn't worked in centuries came online. It was human-made, a sphere of ancient tech. It glowed bright, then projected a hologram of Earth in flames. The workers dropped their tools and watched in silence as cities burned. Oceans boiled and ships fled into space, one by one. More devices woke across the galaxy. Human artifacts, books, tablets, storage, cubes all now active. Each one showed different horrors. Children crying in bunkers, old people left behind, alien warships firing on civilian transports, then always the same. Final image, the Titan leaving a dying Earth. ALONE. Dr. Haran sat with the survivor again. "What did they do to you inside the ship?" she asked softly. He looked out the window, hands shaking. "They didn't touch me, didn't torture me. They showed me who we were. They opened my mind, made me remember things I never lived. They made me feel what they felt." She leaned closer. "And what do they want?" The alien turned to her slowly, to be remembered, to be understood, and to make sure we never forget. The Council considered opening contact again, sending a message, a sign of peace. Then the Titan moved. It appeared in orbit above Xerix. Homeworld, massive, silent, its hull glowing brighter than ever. Panic erupted. Evacuation orders were sent, but the Titan didn't attack. Instead, a single beam of light came from the ship and struck the surface. No explosion, just a strange pulse. Then the clouds turned gray. The oceans turned red, and from beneath the ground, old ruins began to rise. Not CERN ruins, human ones buried long ago. Evidence of a forgotten colony. Xeric fell back into his chair. I didn't know," he whispered. Liska stared at him coldly. "Your people wiped out a human colony and buried the proof." He didn't answer. The Titan had answered for him. More survivors began to surface, not from the ships, but from memories. People across the galaxy began to dream of Earth, of lives they never lived. Aliens began to speak. In human languages, some cried out in their sleep, begging for mercy in perfect English. A viral memory had begun, and the Titan was spreading it one mind at a time. One night, on a distant planet, a child walked into the forest. She was a Drell, no human blood, but she spoke to the trees like she knew them. When her parents found her, she simply said, "The humans are sad, but they're not angry anymore." Then she smiled. "They're waiting." "For what?" her mother asked. "For us to be better," she said. Back at the council, the survivor finally spoke his last words. "They're not coming for revenge," he said. "They don't want to destroy us, but they will never let us forget." He closed. His eyes, a soft blue light left his chest, and he died peacefully, as if his purpose was complete. The Titan moved again, now heading toward the heart of the galaxy, toward the Council's most sacred planet. Every leader watched, in silence, waiting, fearing, not for their lives, but for their pasts, because the truth was rising, and the first judgment had only just begun. It started as a flicker in the CUM systems, a brief static flash. Then came a whisper, one word, spoken by a child's voice. Remember, the sound traveled faster than light across ships, colonies, and homeworlds. It didn't come from the Titan this time. It came from somewhere else, somewhere buried. Within minutes, the message repeated. This time, the child's voice was clearer. It echoed in hundreds of languages, but always started the same way. "We gave you peace. You gave us death. The Council of Nine gathered again. The room was darker now. Guards stood at every entrance. The tension was heavy. Ambassador Reth stood beside a floating hologram of the message. The small, human child's voice filled the room, soft and clear. "We offered help. You gave us fire. We opened our skies. You poisoned our seas. We trusted. You betrayed." General Kor stood up, fists clenched. "This has to be a psychological weapon, a trick, a recording programmed to make us feel guilty." "No," said Chairwoman Liska, "this is a memory." The Varnal scientist nodded slowly. "Not just a message, a warning, a history. Broadcast across every frequency," Reth added, "and it's reaching places no transmission should reach, even under planetary security locks." The council stared at each other. Nothing like this had ever happened before. In the outer system of Orvinis, a deep storage vault unlocked itself. Inside were black boxes, old human tech collected during the last war. No one had ever opened them. The encryption was too strong, but now, one by one, they powered on. Inside was video, raw footage, humans running, children hiding, soldiers screaming. Alien ships bombed cities, shot at fleeing transports, burned forests. The date stamps were over, 400 years old. And yet, the footage was clear. Real. An AI voice whispered in the background. "Observation record, Earth Day 1774. Strike confirmed. Civilian targets, 98%. Across the galaxy, other black boxes opened, hundreds of them. Each one showed a different world. A different moment, but the story was the same. Humanity had trusted, and the galaxy had turned on them. The panic spread quickly. On the planet Meraxes, citizens marched in the streets, demanding the truth. "Did we do this?" a Takari woman cried. On a live broadcast, "Did our ancestors destroy Earth?" Her government denied involvement. But that night, a data leak hit the public net. A secret archive. Inside were blueprints of Earth, planetary maps marked with attack patterns, council orders, signed and approved. Documents that listed human cities as acceptable losses. A name appeared at the top of the files, Project Final. Reckoning that the seal was clear. The Council of Nine had voted for it. In her private chamber, Chairwoman Liska stared at the screen in horror. "Project Final Reckoning," she whispered. Thought it was just a myth. The Varnal historian stood beside her, pale. It was real, hidden for centuries. The final strike plan, not just to defeat humans, but to erase them completely. Liska's hand shook. "We didn't just fight them," she said. "We wiped their records, their culture, their story." The historian looked down, and now they're giving it back. All across the galaxy, chaos erupted. Some species apologized. Others denied everything. Old allies turned on each other. Pointing fingers, "You approved the firebombing," the Grillic ambassador shouted. "You gave the location of their last colony." The Takari replied. Systems collapsed under pressure. Some leaders resigned. Others were assassinated. Civilians demanded truth, demanded justice, demanded answers. And above it all, the Titan remained still, floating in silence, watching, waiting. In a hidden lab on Drelmer 6, a hacker named Vesh cracked into a deeper file, one the public hadn't seen. This one didn't just show destruction, it showed the beginning, the first human contact with the galaxy. The video played council chamber, humans standing beside, aliens smiling, offering medicine, food, energy. They offered to help. They asked for peace, and the council leaders had nodded, had shaken their hands, had smiled, and weeks later, launched the first strike. Vesh sat in silence as the video ended. The humans hadn't started the war. The council had. Back at the council, Liska stood before the others. Her voice was low but firm. "It's time we tell the truth." Zarek shook his head. "We'll lose control. Our people will turn against us." "They already have," she said. "We voted to erase an entire species, and now they've returned not to fight, but to remind us what we became." Ambassador Reth added, "The Titan hasn't fired a single shot. It hasn't killed anyone since the warships attacked. All it's done is show us U.S. Zarek pounded the table. Then what do you propose? We surrender? Beg for forgiveness?" Liska looked him in the eyes. "No, we step down. Of us, and we let the galaxy decide what comes next." In orbit around the old Earth ruins, the Titan's hull began to shift. Not physically, but visually. A projection appeared on the side, a tall human woman in ancient armor. Her voice filled the stars. We were not perfect. We made mistakes. But we came in peace. We trusted you. A pause, and you destroyed us. The woman stared directly into the camera. We do not seek revenge. We seek truth. Behind her, dozens of other humans appeared. Not angry, not hateful, just silent. Watching that transmission ended. On a desert world called Veron's Edge, a child wrote something in the sand after seeing the message. She was too young to know human words, too young to speak English, and yet her writing was clear. I see them in my dreams. That night, the stars above her planet changed shape. They formed the outline of a ship, a giant, silent warship, the Titan, waiting in the dark. The small ship drifted quietly toward the Titan. Its name was Pathfinder. It carried only 4 people handpicked by the Council to attempt something no one had dared before. They weren't soldiers. They weren't spies. They were scientists. Dr. Nyla Haran sat in the front, staring at the massive shape ahead. The Titan looked even bigger up close. Its black surface stretched endlessly across the stars. No visible doors, no lights, just the glowing name. Titian, the ship's pilot, spoke softly. We're less than a kilometer away. Still, no response. Number, defense systems, no signals. The engineer, Tovak, checked his screen. The hull isn't metal. It's not even any known element. We're scanning, nothing. It absorbs everything. The 4th member, a translator named Juno, looked nervous. If it doesn't want us here, we won't even see it coming. Dr. Heron whispered, then we better make it count. They activated the docking module and waited. At first, nothing happened. Then suddenly, a glowing ring appeared on the side of the Titan, like a door being drawn into existence. It opened slowly. No alarms, no sound, just a smooth, black tunnel. Juno swallowed. Hardits, inviting us in. The Pathfinder floated forward, guided by unseen forces. Inside, the walls were dark and smooth. No lights, yet everything was strangely visible. Dr. Haran stepped out first. Her boots echoed softly. The others followed. The air was breathable, gravity. Normal. It felt like walking into memory. Juno spoke quietly. This place isn't made of metal. It's made of data, of ... thought. They moved forward. Suddenly, lights flashed around them, images on the walls. Not pictures, memories. Children running in the grass. Elderly humans sitting by warm fires, laughing, singing, living. Then fire explosions, ships falling from the sky, screaming. The memories changed too fast to count. Tovak covered his eyes. Make it stop, a voice echoed around them. You asked to see us. It wasn't angry, it wasn't loud, it was human. Dr. Haran stepped forward. We came to understand, to talk. You already heard our message, the voice replied, but still, you do not listen. Juno looked around. Where are you? Everywhere, the floor beneath them changed, became glass. Beneath their feet, they saw earth burning, then freezing, then turning to ash. The voice returned. We were peaceful. We opened our doors. You opened fire. Dr. Heron took a deep breath. Not all of us agreed. Not all of us fought. Many tried to help. The voice paused. We remember them, and they are not forgotten. The hallway opened into a vast chamber. They stepped inside and froze. A woman stood in the center, tall, pale, her eyes glowing softly. She looked human, but she was not alive. A projection, an AI. She smiled. I am Ava, Memory Keeper. I carry the minds of my people, Tovak whispered. You single quotes, all that's left. Not all, Ava said. Echoes. We survived in data. In silence, in pain. Juno stepped closer. Why now? Why return after all this time? Ava looked directly at her, because silence became dangerous. You began to forget, and forgetting allows repetition. Suddenly, walls around them shimmered. Scenes played again, but this time, not just human suffering. Council meetings. Secret votes. Bombings planned. Ava walked beside the images. You recorded everything. Hid it. Erased us from your histories. Dr. Haran asked, what do you want us to do? Ava turned to her. Nothing, we already decided. We will not attack. We will not destroy, she gestured to the air. We are not here for revenge. Then her face changed just slightly. We are here to show you yourselves. The walls turned black again. Then began to show something new. Alien leaders, breaking down in tears. Young children learning human songs. Artists painting, Earth as it once was. Peace, hope. Ava spoke gently. Some of you are ready. Tovak frowned. Ready for what? To remember. To carry truth. Juno stepped forward, and the others, they will be shown, not forced, not erased, but they will see. She turned to Dr. Heron again. You are different. You still feel pain. For what happened? I do, Nyla said quietly. Ava touched her hand, and suddenly, Nyla saw 1,000 voices, 1,000 lives, all inside her mind at once. Children laughing, fathers screaming, mothers whispering lullabies. While ships exploded overhead, tears fell down her cheeks. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry, Ava nodded. Then you are ready. Outside the ship, time moved strangely. Only hours had passed, but across the galaxy, more beacons had awakened. Old human AI cores, silent for centuries, now glowing bright, each one telling a story, each one choosing a voice. One appeared on a trade, hub and spoke to a crowd of thousands. We are the past you buried, and the future you feared. Another showed itself to a farming colony. It simply said, listen, the Pathfinder team returned, changed, quiet, humbled. NYL. It stepped before the council. There are no weapons, no armies, just truth. Zarek sneered. Truth can be twisted. She looked him in the eye. Not this truth. It burns. Ambassador Reth leaned forward. What do they want us to do? Nyla said. They don't want anything. They are the message. And the message is this. The war never ended. It was just hidden. In private, Liska met with Nyla. Do you believe them? She asked. I saw it, Nyla said. Not with my eyes, with my soul. They could destroy us. But instead, they chose to show us our own face. Liska whispered. And what do we do with it? Nyla stared out the window, where the Titan still floated. I don't know, she said. But whatever comes next, we won't face it alone. The Titan remained still, orbiting a dead star, silent, watching. But the galaxy was not silent anymore. All across space, strange signals began to appear. Short bursts, flashes of data, whispers, coded in old human languages, long considered extinct. Some said it was poetry. Others said it was a warning. Inside Council Station 9, Ambassador Liska watched the stream of messages on a giant screen. One line kept repeating, We are the mirror. She turned to Nyla Haran. Any idea what it means? Nyla nodded slowly. They're not here to change us. They're trying to make us look at what we already are. Sign of attack, no damage, no crew dot, just a single word carved into its hull burned. In with heat no weapon could produce. Memory, far from council space. A secret meeting took place. 7 alien warlords gathered in a hidden asteroid fortress. They called themselves the Remnant Circle. They weren't afraid of ghosts. They weren't afraid of memories. They were afraid of losing. Control the humans are gone, said High Talik of the Corps, but their technology remains. Growled Jaren of the Krav. They built something that outlived them. We need to shut it down. A pale advisor leaned forward. You can't shut down memory, he said, but you can bury it again. How? Asked Talek. The advisor smiled. Find the source, the core, destroy it. There was silence then. Nods, then plans. The warlords launched Operation Blind Flame. A fleet of 12 ships, fast-armed, ruthless their mission. Breach the Titan, kill the signal, silence the past. Inside the Titan, Ava felt them coming. She stood alone in a glowing chamber. Data flowed around her like wind. She turned slowly to the shadows. They are coming for us. A voice answered from the dark. Then we show them everything. Another voice followed. Let them carry the weight of truth. A third voice whispered, and if they refuse, Ava closed her eyes. Then they become part of the memory. The fleet reached the edge of the dead star's orbit. The Titan stood ahead, massive and still no shields, no movement, easy target. Said Commander Rax. They launched 12 boarding ships. Each ship carried plasma cutters, EMP weapons, molecular grenades. They entered through the same glowing tunnel the Pathfinder team had used. No resistance, just silence. And then, doors closed behind them, Commander Rax ordered his team to spread out. 10 minutes later, Team 3 vanished. No screams, no screams, no signals, just ... silence. Then Team 5 reported in, "Sir, we found something. You need to see this." Rax reached the chamber. Where they waited. Inside was a giant black wall, covered in symbols, not alien. Human. The symbols moved, not written by hand, written by memory. One of the soldiers, watching us. Then the symbols began to change. Names, dates, locations, each one tied to war crimes, secret operations, buried orders. Some were hundreds of years old, others were from yesterday. One soldier backed away. How does it know? Rax tried to destroy the wall. He fired a plasma cannon. The wall absorbed the blast and showed something new. Rax's own memories, private orders, hidden murders, false flags. The soldier screamed. Rax staggered back. "No, that's not possible." A voice echoed around them. "It's all possible, because you recorded it." 9. Panic spread. The Remnant Circle's fleet had stopped transmitting. Nyla stood in the central command center. Ambassador Liska paced nearby. "They thought they could erase it all again," Liska said. Nyla shook her head. "You can't kill the truth. Not anymore." Suddenly, a signal flashed on their screens. A broadcast originating from the Titan. They opened it. The image showed one of the warlords, Jaren of the Krav. He was crying behind him. Memories played. He was a child holding a human book. Then a young warrior, watching humans burned in war. Then a commander, signing orders to silence survivors. His voice trembled. "We tried to hide, but it all came back. Every face, every scream." He looked into the camera. "This ship, it doesn't punish, it remembers. And now, ... so do I." Then the signal ended, and Jerome was gone. The Titan began to move, just slightly. Turning toward the center of the galaxy, it sent out one final signal. This time, not a warning, not a threat, an invitation. The message was clear. Come and see. You are brave enough to face yourselves. Nyla stood still, watching the words fade. She looked at Liska. "They're not going to force anyone." "No," Liska said. "But the truth is louder than any warship." Outside, 1,000 smaller ships had started to gather around the Titan, not to fight, to listen. Some species called it a trap. Others called it madness. But more and more people came. A floating museum, some said, a graveyard, a judge. But it didn't matter what they called it, because the Titan didn't speak. It showed. And those who saw ... were never the same. The Titan moved again. Not fast, not aggressive. It drifted. Slowly, toward the center of the galaxy. The message had already been sent. Come and see, if you are brave enough to face yourselves. But not everyone wanted to see. Some feared it, some wanted to destroy it. Others followed. Captain Unvas watched from the bridge of his small research ship, Lightweaver. They had stayed near the Titan for 3 days now, scanning, studying, waiting. His crew was nervous. "Why doesn't it attack?" asked Kale, the pilot. "Because it doesn't need to," UN replied. "It's not a weapon." "Then what is it?" asked another crew member. Unen looked out the window at the enormous ship. "I think it's a mirror. It shows us who we really are." A new signal came through. Short, quiet, but this one was different. It was in Aaron's voice. The room froze. "What? What was that?" Kale asked. Aaron's heart pounded. "It's a message I recorded 10 years ago," he whispered. "It was never sent." He remembered it clearly. A goodbye message. After a mission went wrong, his team died. He survived. He had blamed others. But the truth? He had made a mistake. He had lied to cover it up. Now, the Titan had found it and played it. Elsewhere, on a desert world called Eric 7, a crowd stood around a giant screen. The Titan's messages were reaching every corner of the galaxy. People were watching their own secrets broadcasted in front of everyone. Old crimes, lost. Truths, forgotten heroes. Shameful betrayals. Some cried, some ran, some fell to their knees. A child pointed at the screen. "Mom, that's you." The woman stared at her younger self, helping human prisoners escape during the last war. She had never told anyone, not even her family. She had risked her life to save them, then buried the memory. Now it played before all. She smiled for the first time. She was seen in the dark regions of space. Others were not happy. A group of rich elites and ex-military leaders, known as the Silence Coalition, gathered in a black station near a red star. They had hidden much war crimes, false peace talks, fake heroes. Now their secrets were being exposed. "What do we do?" one asked. A tall man stood up. His face was cold, his eyes sharp. "We end it," he said. "We destroy the Titan, but we tried, not with this." He opened a case inside, a weapon of forbidden technology, a star eater, designed by the old human war labs. It could collapse a small star, and everything near it. It had never been used until now on the Lightweaver. Yuen sat alone in his quarters. The Titan had shown him more. Not just his failure, but his lost love. A woman named Celine, a fellow researcher. She had died, or so he thought, but the Titan showed a final image, her alive, crying, left behind in the ruins. Un stood up fast. "She's alive," he whispered. Kale entered the room. "Captain, you need to see this." On the screen, a new image appeared. It wasn't a message. It was a map, leading somewhere deep inside the Titan. A chamber called the Vault of Witnesses. Yuen stared. "Get us ready. We're going in." Far away, the Silence Coalition launched their Star Eater. It traveled fast, silent, hidden. They believed they had time, but the Titan was watching, and it didn't respond with force. It responded with truth as the weapon neared. Every screen across the galaxy lit up again. This time, it didn't show secrets. It showed people, faces, names, dates, all those lost in silence, all those forgotten by history, a mother holding her child, a soldier burying a friend, a mechanic fixing an escape ship in a burning station. They weren't legends. They were real, and their stories filled the stars. The Titan spoke again. "What we are? You will know who we were." And then, the weapon failed. It didn't explode. It unraveled, torn apart by its own internal confusion. How? No one knew. Only one message remained. Truth breaks what lies build. Yuen and his team entered the Titan. The map led them through glowing halls. They passed rooms full of holograms, each one playing a story, each one real. They reached a large door. No locks, no guards, just a single word written above it, "Witness." They entered. Inside were thousands of floating memory crystals. Each one pulsed softly. A voice spoke, "Choose." Yuen stepped forward. One crystal floated to him. He touched it, and suddenly he was there in the ruins. Dust, fire, echoes, and Celine. Alive, trapped, alone, trying to send a signal. The Titan had kept her. Memory alive, not just the image, the truth. Yuen fell to his knees, tears in his eyes. "She's out there." Back in Council Station 9, Nyla stood before the gathered leaders. She spoke calmly. "The Titan isn't our enemy. It's our record, our reflection." One of the alien leaders, a four-eyed general, frowned. "But we fear what it shows." "Then maybe it's time," Nyla said, "to stop fearing our past and start fixing our future." No one spoke, but they listened outside. More ships arrived, not with weapons, but with curiosity and questions. The Titan waited not to attack, but to show, to remember, and to reveal what still mattered in a galaxy built on forgetting. The Titan's vault was quiet, not empty, alive with memory. Yuen stood in the chamber, still shaking from what he saw. The crystal had shown him Celine's fate. She was alive once, trapped in the ruins of a collapsed research outpost, left behind. Wiped his face and stood tall. "We have to find her," he said. Kale looked unsure. Captain, the crystal wasn't the present. That memory was over 10 years old. "I know," Yuen said, "but it means she didn't die in the blast. If she made it out, maybe the Titan knows where she went." The others stayed silent. No one wanted to say what they were thinking. Maybe Celine wasn't alive anymore, but Yuen believed. Outside the Titan, ships hovered like bees around a sleeping giant. Not all came in peace. The Galactic Council had split. Some wanted to learn from the Titan. Others feared it still. On the other side of the stars, the Silence Coalition regrouped. Their Star Eater had failed. But they weren't done. We lost. The weapon, one of the generals growled. Now we use fear. They launched a wideband transmission to the galaxy. The Titan is a threat to all species. It manipulates minds. It turns your secrets into weapons. It must be destroyed. Join US or be judged. Billions heard the message. Some believed it. Others did not. Back inside the Titan, another map lit up. This one pointed deeper into the ship. A section called The Labyrinth. What is it? Kale asked. UN stared at the glowing lines. I think it's a test. Test of what? Memory. They followed the map, moving through long, curving halls. The ship seemed endless. Strange lights floated like fireflies. As they walked, the air shifted. The halls pulsed, then came the whispers. Soft at first, then louder voices from the past. Kale heard his brother who died in the war. Another crew member collapsed, screaming at ghosts only he could see. Ewan heard Celine, not just a memory, a message. Ewan, I forgive you. He stopped. The lights turned blue, the floor beneath them disappeared, and they fell when they woke. They were somewhere else. A dome-shaped room, no doors. In the center, a floating platform with a sphere of light, Ewan stood. His head hurt Kale, groaned. Where are we now? Before Ewan could answer, the sphere glowed, and the room changed. It showed Earthhold, Earth before the last great war. Green fields, blue oceans, peaceful cities, then fire, explosions, screams. The skies turned black, humanity fighting itself. Then came the Titan, rising from a hidden base deep in space, built by humans. Not for war, but for memory. To protect the stories of who they were, and who they might be again. It's not a warship, Ewan whispered. It's a museum. The Titan wasn't designed to destroy, it was built to remember, to survive the fall of civilizations, to wait and then. To return, the dome opened. The crew stepped out into a chamber full of stasis pods. Some were empty, some still held. Bodhi's Ewan stared at one. His heart stopped. It was Solen. Frozen, peaceful, alive. Get her out, he shouted. Kale rushed forward. She's still in cryostasis. Life signs are weak, but stable. How is this possible? One of the crew asked. Eren smiled. The Titan saved her. She must have triggered a distress signal when trapped. It brought her here. He touched the glass. Hang on, Celine. I'm here. Back outside, the Silence Coalition launched their fleet. Thousands of ships, cruisers, bombers, drones. They formed a ring around the Titan. A message was sent. You have 1 hour to surrender control. Or we open fire. On Council Station 9, Nyla watched the signal. She slammed her hand on the table. This is madness. If they attack that thing, they'll doom us all. Another leader spoke. It might be the only way. Nyla shook her head. No. I'm going to the Titan myself. She left without permission, inside the Titan. Solene's pod opened. Her breath was shallow. Eyes fluttered open. You went, she whispered. He grabbed her hand. Yes, I'm here. Tears ran down his face. Kale stood back, smiling. Selene sat up, weak but alive. I thought I was dead. You were saved, Ewan said, by the ship. Selene looked around. Her eyes widened. This place, it's alive. It thinks. It remembers. She paused. It showed me what would happen if the galaxy ignored its warnings. Ewan frowned. What did you see? Solene's voice dropped. Collapse. War lies winning over truth. She looked up. We have to speak for it, or everything it holds will be lost. Then the lights flashed red. Kale turned to the monitor. Multiple ships approaching, armed, hostile. Ewan clenched his fists. How long until they reach us? 10 minutes. Selene stood, still shaky. There's a command center. Deep in the ship, I saw it when I was in cryodream. Ewan looked at her. You mean the core? She nodded. Yes, if we get there, we can speak to the galaxy. Show them the truth. Kale shook his head. And if we don't, Ewan stared into the distance, then they'll destroy the last record of who we were. Nyla's shuttle reached the Titan. She sent a signal. I am Council Commander Nyla. I request emergency entry. The ship answered. The door opened. She stepped inside, unarmed, alone. The silence wrapped around her. Then the voice came. Do you wish to remember? She took a deep breath. Yes. A path lit up. Nyla walked forward, toward the truth. The attacking fleet neared bombers. Armed weapons, locked missiles ready. The final countdown began. The galaxy held its breath. On one side, fear. On the other, memory. Inside, the Titan, Uen, and Selene ran through glowing corridors. The voice of the ship guided them. You are the last voice of the first truth. They reached the core, a massive room with a single chair. Selene sat. The lights pulsed. The galaxy watched. As a new transmission lit up every screen, and a soft human voice said, Let me tell you who we are. The galaxy went silent. No ships moved, no weapons fired. Every screen in every system, from the core worlds to the far edge of the void, showed the same thing. A woman, human, sitting in a glowing chamber at the heart of the Titan. Selene took a deep breath. Her voice was calm, steady. Before the wars, before the silence, before the fear, there was memory. Her words echoed across systems. We are not your enemy. The Titan is not a weapon. It is a truth keeper, a time capsule, a warning. On the Silence Coalition's warship, General Varrock scowled. She dares speak lies to the galaxy. One of his lieutenants turned. Sir, we're receiving peace requests from 3 factions. They want to pause the attack, Varrock growled. Then they are weak. He pressed a button. The first wave of missiles launched thousands, deadly fast, merciless, inside the Titan's core. Alarms blared. UN stood next to Selene. We have to stop them. The ship won't fight, Kale said. It was never meant to. Selene closed her eyes. The Titan won't, but we will. She reached out and touched the control panel. The light swallowed her hand. Outside, the missiles neared. But before they could strike, something strange happened. The Titan opened. Huge panels moved, revealing ancient Array's broadcast towers. Unlike any ever seen. Out one thing, a wave of memory. Every mind touched by it saw visions. Not just human history, but their own, their ancestors. The forgotten wars, the broken treaties, the moments of mercy and cruelty. General Varrock's mind flooded with images of his first battle when he spared a child, and was punished for weakness. He dropped to his knees. The other commanders across the fleet fell silent. Their fingers paused over their triggers. On the council station, Neela watched in awe. It's rewriting fear, she whispered, with truth. The Titan wasn't attacking. It was healing, one memory at a time. In the Titan's core, Selene's voice returned. You fear us because you forgot who you were. But the Titan remembers. And now, so will you. One by one, the enemy ships powered down. Engines off, weapons retracted. Even Varrock lowered his head. Call back the fleet, he whispered. We were wrong. The silence after was deafening, for the first time in 1,000 years. Peace. But it wouldn't last, not yet. Kale looked at a blinking alert. There's something coming. UN turned. More ships. No, something beneath the Titan. The screen showed seismic tremors. A giant object, hidden under the Titan's resting place, was waking up. Selene frowned. I saw this in my dreams. The ship is just the first piece. What's the second? UN asked. Kale zoomed in. The ground below cracked open. Rising from the darkness was a second Titan, smaller, sleeker, faster, and it was not human-made. UN stared in disbelief. What is that? The Titan answered, Echo-class vessel, built by the architects, my creators. Everyone went quiet. The ship wasn't human after all. It was adopted by humans, repaired by them, given purpose by them. Kale swallowed then. Who were the architects? The Titan replied. The first race to fear forgetting. They built me, and fell into silence. Selene looked at the Echo ship. I think it's waking up. The new vessel floated silently beside the Titan. Its surface shimmered with strange runes. Suddenly, the Titan spoke again, warning. Protocol 9 initiated. Memory beacon 2 online. UN looked at Selene. What does that mean? I think, she said slowly, it means the other ships are waking up too. Far away, in dark corners of the galaxy, old vaults opened other Titans, other echo ships, other memories, different species, different truths. One by one, they began to activate, and across the stars. Civilizations started to remember their lost pasts, not just war, but the truths buried under it. Hope, pain, peace, treachery. It was all returning, not as weapons, but as warnings. Inside the Titan, the lights dimmed. Celine stood up, still weak. UN helped her. What happens now? She looked up at him. Now we listen. The council called for an emergency meeting. For once, every seat was filled. All species, all factions, even the Silence Coalition sent delegates. Nyla stood at the center. The Titan has given us something priceless, she said. A second chance. A reptilian leader hissed, what if it's a trap? A deeper manipulation. Stepped forward, shown on every screen. It isn't, she spoke clearly. I've seen what the Titan carries. It doesn't choose sides, it only reveals them. She paused, but the decision to remember, that's ours. Nyla nodded. So, what do we choose? The chamber stayed silent. Then slowly, leaders stood, one by one. Yes, we will remember. We will face the truth. Not all agreed, but most did. And the vote passed. The council, for the first time in history, chose truth over fear. Back in orbit, UN watched the echo ship circle the Titan. It feels like the beginning of something, he said. Kale grinned. You mean the end of lies? Maybe, UN replied. But something's still coming. I feel it. Celine stepped beside him. The Titan is only the first chapter. UN nodded. Then let's get ready for the next one. He looked at the stars. And for the first time in a long time, they didn't look empty. They looked hopeful. The Titan drifted in silence. Beside it, the alien echo ship shimmered like liquid glass. Symbols danced across its hull, glowing softly. They were not just decorations, they were a message. Celine stood in the Titan's heart, staring at the screen. They're not done, she whispered. The architects, their story, it's unfinished. Kale looked up. You mean the ones who built the Titans? Yes, she said. I think they left something behind, something deeper. UN stepped forward, where she pointed. To the center of the galaxy, the Black Rift. Kale's face turned pale. That place, it's forbidden. Ships that go there don't return, because they forget, Celine said. The rift isn't just dangerous, it steals memory. It's a wound in space, UN frowned. And that's where the architects hid the last beacon. She nodded slowly. If we want to end this, we have to go in, the council debated. For 3 days, some were afraid, some wanted to destroy both Titans, but the vote passed. Barely, the mission was approved. SOLENE, and Kale would lead the journey into the Black Rift. They would take both ships, the Titan and the Echo, and they would face whatever waited in the dark. The Titan moved first, slipping into the edge of the rift. Reality bent around it. Stars flickered like dying candles. The Echo ship followed, silent and steady. Inside, time felt strange. Kale looked at his hands. They're older. Celine touched her face. We're inside a memory storm. The past and future are overlapping. The Titan's voice echoed through the chamber, approaching the core. Warning, anomaly detected. On the screen, a shape appeared, massive, dark coiled like a serpent of stone. UN stared. That's not a ship, that's a creature. Celine whispered, no, that's a guardian. The thing was ancient. It moved like a shadow. It didn't attack. It just watched, then a voice echoed deep, slow and broken. Who dares carry the memories? UN answered. We are messengers, from the surface, from the council. Too late, the voice said. The rift has already begun. It cannot be undone. Solon stepped forward. We're not here to stop it. We're here to complete it. The guardian paused. Then offer your truth, all of it. The Titan opened fully. Its light poured into the rift, and the guardian changed its scream nod in pain. But in release, 1,000 voices burst out. Whispers, screams, laughter, the lost memories of an entire race. The architects, the guardian, wasn't a protector. It was their last survivor. It had carried their pain for millennia, and now it was finally free. The Echo ship rose higher. Its hull cracked open, revealing a core of blinding light. Symbols spun faster. Then the Titan's voice spoke for the last time. Final protocol unlocked. Memory seed ready? Kale blinked. Seed Yuan stared. It's not just data, Celine whispered. It's life. New memory, new history, a gift. Suddenly, the echo ship shattered by choice. Its energy flowed into the rift. The Guardian vanished with it. And in the silence that followed, stars began to grow. New ones, hundreds, as if the memories became suns, each one glowing with the light of a lost civilization. The Titan started to fade. Its systems flickered. Wait, Kale shouted. What's happening? Celine touched the wall. It was cold. The Titan has given everything it had, she said softly. It's going to sleep. Yuan clenched his fists. No, we still need it. Celine looked at him. No, we don't. Not anymore. She smiled gently. Now we remember, on our own. The Titan's core light dimmed. Its final message rang out. Memory passed, purpose complete, goodbye. Then it went dark. Back at the edge of the rift, only one ship emerged, the Scout carrying Kale, Yuan, and Celine. But something had changed. Yuan looked up at the stars. They weren't the same. Each one pulsed with memory, stories, lessons, truths, and on every world people began to remember. Not just history, but what it meant, the cost of war, the power of peace. Later, the council met again. No weapons, no armies, just voices, talking, listening, building. The age of fear had ended. An age of memory had begun. Yuan stood by a small garden on Earth. Kale joined him, holding a strange glowing seed. From the rift, he said, one of the memory seeds. Yuan planted it in the soil. It grew fast into a tall tree with golden leaves. Celine arrived, watching the light shimmer through the branches. She whispered, Do you think they're watching? Yuan smiled. I don't think they need to anymore. And, far above in the quiet dark beyond the stars, the Titans rested, silent, still, but never forgotten.